Live from Martin's 200. Hello, my name is Christian Delgado, your lead producer and commentator, and along the booth once again here for the VRS Truck Series, we have Gavin Austin up here in the booth. Gavin, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm excited. Yeah, honestly, I'm just pumped. I'm excited. I'm just pumped. I'm excited. I love short tracks myself. I think we have a great race.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting race. A big change from it's definitely going to be an interesting race. A big change from what we've seen in the last races with the super speedways and that mile and a half at Vegas and Homestead, versus now with the short track of Martinsville Motor Speedway here. But we see some drivers already out there trying to take some practice laps. We see about 3.5 minutes of practice remaining, and right now Jacob Quill practice did not decide to run at Homestead, but
It's been very fast, and obviously second in practice right now. I'm excited to see what he'll be able to do. Start up front. There's gonna be carnage tonight at a short track like this, and you want to stay out of it. You want to be in front of it when it happens, and starting up front gives you that opportunity. So I think the 17 could be one of the trucks we see competing for that front spot in tonight's race. But look at the 16, last week's winner, uh, doing pretty good in practice right now. Currently sitting P3. It's Kyle Sosnowski. Great
yeah,
job by him.
Kyle did a really good job here at um, Homestead last week, and hopefully he can continue to ring in that good run and potentially do stuff here. You see these trucks, it seems like they're making a corner every few seconds. So let's go ahead and look at your track facts, brought to you by Delta Designs. Delta Designs sponsoring this portion of the Brown work. He does a great job there. But Martinsville Motor Speedway right there. Uh, you see, a half-mile paper clip is what they call it here. The paper clip with obviously no banking here in the corners, with just a little bit. I mean, no banking on the straights, but just a little bit of banking into the corners here. Then we'll go into your race analysis. This is where you get to the spicy content. Down to 35 miles per hour with about, I would say, 125 to 145. It says 135 there, but pretty loosey. So Barry Kramer not listed with an EOL, just to a late driver swap there. And you see down there the number 19 Dominic Lee, one race suspension due to incident points throughout the season. So big hit for that number 19 truck and that number 19 team, especially not with driver points but also team points here. So big hit for that number 19, and then obviously those other three with just EOLs at the start of the race.
That's going to be a challenge. 200 laps, short track like this, it can be difficult to pass. I mean, sometimes you even have to move the driver in front of you, but you don't want to wreck them. You got to be careful giving them the bumper, but I'm expecting some great racing. See the 42 stop there on pit road. Lovely looking scheme there. It's Noah Hamilton, who is an open driver. He'll be trying to make the...
I don't see anybody else joining, so I think everybody should make it in on without having to race their way in on speed. But right now, Noah on the longest line, just because of that number 42 reached out to Noah and asked him to race, but unfortunately someone else was already elected to drive that truck, and kind of a last minute change. They're gonna have to start from the back.
Practice ends. Qualifying is beginning right now. Trucks are starting to get on track.
We're trying to find someone who we can find. Austin Runkle in the number 34, one of those other drivers that will be starting from the back. Pull up our qualifying graph here, if it will load up. Here as we see Austin coming out of turn 4. Gonna start his first and only lap. Remember,
Old tires with one lap, you don't really get heat in those tires very quick, and that can just cause your truck to go around. I mean, it's very difficult on cold tires. And you can go up into the wall or just spin sideways. So these drivers definitely have to be careful about that.
it's what he's gonna get. Jacob Quill, I think, is out on track here. Number
Fastest in
77.
practice. Number 77 machine, I believe this is him setting his lap. So this will be the beginning of his lap going into 1 here. Doing a great job rolling the bottom out of turn 2. Carrying a lot of speed. Just looking to be a great lap for the 77 machine. Coming out of turn 4. Missed the bottom a little bit. Oh, he clips the wall. I don't know if his lap is going to count. It does not count. Very, dang that. I mean, that just stinks for the 77 machine. Fastest in practice. Looked like he was on a very fast lap and just clipped the wall on exit. You know, Jacob Quill is definitely frustrated right now after that lap.
And definitely, I mean, we know Jacob's quick, and we know he's probably, you know, not happy with that lap. I know the 19 truck, there's a 19. Obviously, the 19 is Dominic Lee, but it says the 16 in the session. The 16 is obviously Kyle Sosnowski. So at least this guy, Rodney in a truck. We'll say that. He puts it P26 right now with the 19.6.
Driver's still out, setting a lap here. You see the 80 weeks, he's been up there. I think he'll be one of the trucks we have to watch tonight.
Him coming out, did not like that lap you said. You see that Appalachian State truck. Very nice looking scheme right there. You're going to see him coming out turn 4. Try to cut down, try to get as much momentum off of 4 to start this lap.
Yeah, Blake Roebuck has had a pretty decent season so far. Been fast pretty much every week. Saw him up front last week at Homestead. Maybe we could see him up front leading, possibly leading some laps tonight. But ending his qualifying lap, coming out of turn 4, Blake Roebuck, number 30 machine, will go Blake Roebuck. So his lap must have counted. It looks like he hit the wall. Looks like they were given 2 laps for today's qualifying.
Yeah, I can see that being the case. Obviously, if there was 1, Jacob would not be on the pole here. We see Keenan Kimber still running some laps on that number 65 DeWalt scheme. I do want to apologize for some of the choppiness throughout the broadcast. We do have some storms going on throughout the central Midwest here. Now, there's also some other broadcasts today with some other broadcasters throughout the iRacing community, you know, worrying about tornadoes and everything else. So we do apologize for that, but kind of something we're going to have to deal with for this broadcast.
Hopefully it comes to a wrap. Jacob Quill, our pole sitter and last week's winner, Kyle Sosnowski on the front row also. Saw him fast in practice. We'll be starting on Jacob's outside for this 200 lap race. Great lap by those two. Great lap by Jacob. I mean, he has a great setup every week. He's able to carry so much speed in that 40. So nearly a 1/10 of a difference between our first and second place drivers. I mean, that's a lot of speed. So I'm excited to see how this race is going to play out with Jacob, who has a very fast
5 races in now. You're starting to see the guys who are consistently running up front, like the 16 and the 77. Chris Mathis will get that sent done. Let's go ahead and get your starting lineup here, presented by High Velocity TV. As we see, Hamilton qualified P4, but we know he will be getting an EOL, so qualified P4 will not be starting there. Matthew Owens in the 91, and then rounding out row 5 is going to be Matthew R.D. Campbell and Josh Stoles.
7, Jarrett Ferreira and Richard Bunkley. Row 8, Gregory Valid and Jay Somber in today's field, with that 42 getting the EOL penalty. Behind them, row 9, Michael Deitch and Richard Myers. And rounding out to row 10, Stewart Harding and Zach Johnson.
Caleb Begg and Matthew Fastnot, and that number rounding out that row 12. Row 13, Noah Hunt with Rodney Roberts. Chris Davis and Ryan Taft going to round out row 14. Patrick McPeak, Carl Field. Austin Runkle and Noah Nicholson rounding out row 16. Do it for you guys. We see the lights off on the pace truck. We will be going green this time here. As once again, I mean, you kind of the 2 favorites to kind of maybe start to pull away in this championship. Jacob Quill and Kyle Sosnowski.
I mean, both drivers been fast nearly every week. We saw Jacob Quill did not race Homestead last week, but here he is here at Martinsville. Green here at Martinsville. I think before we even cross the start-finish line, Noah Nicholson involved, Rodney Roberts, Carl Field, multiple trucks involved back there.
Let me go ahead and take a look at that through your HVTV replay, and once again, caution early here at Martinsville. Like Gavin mentioned, I don't even think we took the green flag fully before this came out, and we'll try to see what happened here in the back. Looks like a lot of guys. Chris Vickery, I think, who gets turned around, and
You see Michael Deitch in the 51.
try to get a different board. Let's maybe try the blimp cam, see if we can see what happened at the start of this. Looks like just maybe a stack up, and yeah,
Ooh.
gets hit in the back by the 01.
Oh, wow, that 46 got a little bit lucky. Michael Deitch gets contact from behind.
And to react to the wreck that already happened, and unfortunately nowhere to go. I mean, Martinsville, not a very wide track, and sometimes a few drivers already, tore up here, not even going near the green yet.
I think the 15 got on 2 wheels there. Yeah, I think had involved, deciding to go into pit road. We are getting ready to go green here shortly. They just delayed the green once again as pace car went in. So we'll do one more lap.
You saw like the 5 and stuff ahead of Jacob Quill and Cisnowski right there, and did not get a chance to go around and catch back up. So you're going to see the pace car come back out and lead this field once again. As we see the choose cone, we see the 21. Adam Smith going to take the front row now. That's going to gain him 4 spots. So already seen some moves to get some track position early here at Martinsville.
Third, trying something different here. But pace car lights are off. We will be going green this time.
You give up a row, but to get to that bottom, you're going to see throughout the race that the bottom is where you're going to want to be, especially in these trucks with how much downforce there is. So, I mean, you see that 16 elect the inside and give up a row, but see the pace car take that hard left turn off. We're going to see Jacob.
Great jump from Jacob Quill in the 77 machine. Easily cleared the 21 machine. The 21 kind of falling back, and Kyle Cisnowski moves back up to that second position behind Jacob Quill.
The 17 going underneath the 21. Going to make it work. Going to make it stick. He's going to move up to the P3 spot. And now, a little wall grab by the 21, but nothing there. You see Josh Stoles underneath the 30. That's a Roebuck. That's going to be for the P5 spot.
Yeah, side by side, still for 5th place, entering turn 3 and 4. Top lane, still there.
Yeah, seen that 30 use that top lane to get the run off the top. You're not seeing the 99 being able to get the rotation that he maybe wants to, trying to give room. It's allowing that 30 to get a run off the top to keep it side by.
We have a yellow.
Kyle Cisnowski involved.
That was our 2nd place driver.
Slowly, get that truck turned around. We'll take a look and see what happened to this number 16 machine.
Luckily, it does not look like the damage is too bad. From what I saw. And man, what a hit. Josh Stoltz, nowhere to go. 16, pushing.
Pushing too hard, gets a little bit loose off 4, and nowhere to go for the 17. The 21 involved. And once again, as Gavin mentioned, nowhere for the 99 to go. And I would say really good for the rest of the field to kind of get away from there. We talked about it in the pre-race. Martinsville, not a very big track when it comes to, how wide it is, and everybody, stopping, trying to make sure that they don't make this wreck any worse than it is. But very rare mistake out of this number 16 to that early in the race. You saw him just push a little bit too hard, get into the gas a little bit too early, and loop that thing around. Unfortunately, grab some other trucks with him.
Yeah. He's in pit road taking some damage here. I mean, man, he's been strong every week. Last week's winner, just making a mistake. Maybe pushing a little bit too hard too early on. But look at that, Josh Stoltz. We saw take a big hit. Looks like he's staying out.
And look at that
Heavy
front
front end
end
damage.
on that number 99. I guess, it's a short track. You don't really need to worry about aero as long as there's no wheel damage. And it looks like there might be a little bit on that, maybe on that left
Front
front.
left.
Yeah. But I guess if it drives right, I mean, you don't really need to worry about aero here at a short track like Martinsville. So I guess if it drives well enough for you, I guess might as well stay out.
Yeah, our second place will choose the outside, so he will get moved up to the front row on the outside of Jacob Quill as the pace car turns its lights back on. We're gonna go around one more time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this is the second time that the admins have had to extend the caution. I don't know if it's a iRacing deal, but it's not allowing some of these drivers to catch back up and get their laps back like they're supposed to. So we did see the lights come back on. The lights were off. We thought we were going green once again, but you see now the lights are off on the pace car. We will be going green to start lap 15.
Yeah, once again, Toyota front row, Chevy and Ford right there behind them in the second row. Blake Roebuck choosing the end on a pit road. Toyota gonna be battling for the lead. Jacob Quill, our pole sitter, still out in front. We're getting ready to go green here.
E99.77 outside the inside. And once again, another great jump by the 77.
Goes around in front of the field. Single car spin. Yellow is out. Luckily, no one hit him. No one made contact. But that was our second place driver. Looks like no damage. I think he just lost it on his own.
Yep, just once again, maybe the damage affecting him, maybe just, cold tires, maybe hot tires from, getting into that wreck. But you saw him just kind of loop up by himself. Gets kind of same spot that the 16 was in. But I guess the field was more prepared since kind of a copy and paste of what just happened to that lap 5 caution with the 16 looping it around. Speaking of that, there comes the 16 to get around the 99, but you're going to see Josh get that back around. Maybe a sign to maybe go down, get that damage fixed a little bit. And yeah, once again, under caution, lap 17.
Yeah, Josh Stoltz, not great for him. Nothing he could do to avoid the 16 early on, and then spins right there. Luckily, I mean, yeah, you have damage. Not a great start to your race, but we're only on lap 17 of 200. Long race ahead. Many more mistakes by other drivers can be made, and you can work your way up through the field. It's, not over till it's over. I mean, you still got a shot, Martinsville. Short track racing. So
yeah, I mean, anything can happen at Martinsville.
Yeah.
You can. I mean, you've seen some really tore up trucks. Really need to worry about aero or anything else. As long as you can run quick laps, that's really all that matters here at the paperclip.
Yep. As Josh Stoltz will go back on the lead lap, he will wave around the pace car here in just a second. Choose cone. Whoa! Late choose by Chris Mathis. I don't know if he will get a penalty for that, but pace car. I think the admins are delaying the start after the choose cone just to make, get a...
And so the admins are reviewing that number 17 machine, seeing if he chose too late. We'll see what the admins verdict here.
It was very close, but our front 3 trucks did choose the inside. That was Jacob Quill, Chris Mathis, and Blake Roebuck. So we're going to see how they are going to race it out here, but it will be a Toyota Chevy front.
Up 12 spots from where he started in that number 13th spot, I believe. So good recovery for him, and good, I guess, back in the lanes. You can definitely make a lot of spots up by choosing the right lane on these restarts, especially with how these cautions have come out. But we see them going to the line here. Once again, green on lap 21.
Ooh, some drivers suffering from some wheel spin there. Cold tires. Jacob Quill with a great start.
saw that 17. It was really loose off the corner there. Did you see the
it's
01?
loose in the corner.
I think there might have been some
Maybe
netcode contact, though. You see the 01 blinking occasionally there. That was, but good save regardless for that 17 machine.
Yeah, great job. He's still up here. But Jacob Quill, I mean, way faster than second place. 2:10.92 of Zach Johnson, one of our open drivers. And one more truck, that's Patrick McPeak in the 61. We're going to take a look at exactly what happened.
The 92
Like,
just...
ooh, contact with the 42, and man.
Yeah, it looks like the... Oh, as we hear an engine get blown too. I'm interested to see. Was that the 61
huge
maybe?
Hit for the yeah. Huge hit for the 61.
Yeah, it was definitely McPeak. That engine just expired. You see that smoke in the cockpit. We'll go back and take a look at the contact between him and the 42 of Hamilton. Remember, Hamilton qualified P4, but was sent to the back to late driver swap. So you just saw Noah trying to get through the field. Unfortunately, go. It just looks like the 3 in front of the 61 a little slow, and just got ran over. And unfortunately for that 92, just wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, very disappointing for the 61 machine too. You know, ending his race early on, blown engine. Had a decently fast truck. I mean, he was making up some pace. Kyle Sosnowski, see him in pit road taking some damage.
Yeah, it's definitely terrible for Patrick. He's generally tough for tonight. You know, this is our first really short track. This is a good test for some of these drivers to see what they stack up with these setups and stuff at the short tracks, where really the handling is probably going to be the most prevalent here at these style of tracks, where you are going to be on the brake and on the throttle a lot more at these style of tracks. So this is where the setups are going to really start to play. But you know, besides that, McPeak in that 61 has been up towards the front all season, really, unless he's gotten caught up in wrecks. And fortunately, it looks like this is going to be one of those types of nights where he's going to have to back it up a little early.
Front row, Chris Mathis chooses the top. Admin's reviewing the choose cone.
Matthew Campbell and that number 81 in P5 having a quiet day. You know, we're already halfway to the end of stage 1. So you're seeing some of these guys kind of quietly sitting in the top 10, gonna maybe collect some stage points if they don't get caught up in any trouble. So you see, you know, the 81 and the 30 kind of being quiet back there, maybe gonna collect some stage points.
Yeah, stage getting, you know, stage break closing in pretty fast. Already on lap 28, even though we've had some pretty, around 3, I think, 3 yellows so far, but with this short track, laps go by fast. But pace car hard to the restart zone, and we are back green here at Martinsville.
Let's get another good jump out of the 77. Gavin mentioned it earlier, I feel like just the inside just has a really great advantage on this start, especially if you're leaving as
our third place driver gets around. The 01 around into the outside wall in 3 and 4.
See the 45 involved.
I think the 34 might have gotten into the 35 also. That's Matthew Owens.
We'll take a look at what happened there. It looks like maybe your driver's going for the same real estate, but definitely take a look and see. We'll take a different look at it, maybe from the blimp cam once again, and see what this looks like. The 07, you see the 45 with contact from, looks like the 07. Nowhere, it just kind of got ran over. That's the 91, my apologies. Yeah, that's definitely a 3-truck wreck, and yeah, just once again, that one's probably the first one that I would say is kind of a racing deal. Just 2 guys going for the same spot, and you know, with Martinsville not being the biggest track, yeah, that's gonna happen a lot.
Well, 4th yellow. Still out in front though. Jacob Quill has led every single lap. Has a lot of speed.
We talked about it last week about how chaotic this race could go. It'd either be, you know, caution leading 30 of the 32 laps. You know, remember, lost the lead for a couple of those, you know, at the line restarts. The direction is definitely going to help when it comes to stage points with how often these cautions have come out.
Bill.
Stewart just
Look
involved
at
in that last wreck. He was the one who was on that outside of that 01 and turned him around. But look at him, really not a lot of damage for what it looked like that wreck could have been. And now you're going to see him outside front row.
Gonna try to get it done. No one's been able to keep up with Jacob Quill so far. Maybe, just maybe someone out there has the pace. But pace car will go into pit road this time. Actually, never mind. Admins delay it once again.
And the issue is Jacob Quill just gets a good restart on these starts and really gets away. Maybe if we can get a decently sized run, we could see maybe if someone like this 07 and be competitive. He's been sitting up here quietly in the top 10.
Pace car will make a hard left on the pit road. Toyota front row. 7:35, now lap 36. Jacob Quill still out in front.
Another good jump for the 77, and you see that 07 and the 17 now side by side for lead. You saw the 17 get a little squirrely on the exit there. Now side by side for that P2 position.
Yellow flag out once again as we have a stack up on the back. 42 involved with that. Ryan Taft also involved.
We will take a look on. We're right on board with Ryan Taft. We saw him caught up in there. Maybe, yeah, Ryan just.
Ooh.
Yeah, you see the rear end get out from underneath. And another one.
Ooh, Josh got lucky and managed to sneak by on the outside.
Yeah, you see the 96 involved. You see the 42 once again involved in another wreck. The 01. Really, everybody who's been involved in one of these gonna get caught up in this one as well.
I don't think we're going to see a truck go out of this race unscathed with how this is looking.
And my favorite driver to have a clean truck at the end is the 77. I mean, you're leading the race. You can't really get... If you're leading the race and get a good jump like he has on the restarts, there's not really an opportunity for you to see the 77 at least come up and top off on fuel. I don't think we've ran enough laps for tires to be a big decision here. But you see him down.
Honestly, I think like 10 green. I honestly don't know if the tire strategy or taking a tire set there was honestly worth it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm more, confused towards, we're going to be going with less than 10 laps to go in the stage. I mean, he just gave away any chance at getting stage points. And with him, not attending Homestead, he's definitely a little bit behind on the 8-ball when it comes to the point side. So, I mean, if he stays out, he most likely wins stage 1. But, I guess...
I mean, now he's in the back of the field.
Jacob Quill back to 27th. So, one pit stop. Just one pit stop. From first all the way back out.
I mean, I think every truck in this race won't come out unscathed, and besides that 77, but he's in... I honestly, I don't know. We're going to see how this plays out. Will be Blake Roebuck up to the lead on the inside with Caleb Begg on his outside. So it will be a Ford Chevy front row. And we are back green here at Martinsville. Once again, that inside line just rolls in very quickly. Rolling down in turn 2. Exiting turn 2. Side by side for second. Caleb Begg looking to get past Matthew 4.
He gets the job done. Caleb Begg up to P2. Start to see a battle back there. Munatsi
Yellow
Major.
is out.
Yellow's out. Take a look here. It just looks like maybe he gets a little bit loose on his own. As no. Ryan Taft with another Ryan Taft maybe. I'm not sure.
Oh,
like,
no. Oh. the 16 got a part of it.
5 getting tagged there. You see the 16 coming in the frame. Gonna get the. Oh man, you see that whole left side get up.
The fender fell off.
Yeah, and yep. You see the fender come up, put some debris on the track, and once again, nowhere for the 16 to go. I mean, after spun out early in the race, so that's exactly what happens when you put yourselves in those positions. You just get caught up in incidents that are out of your doing. Sometimes it's just sometimes it's just better to maybe drive at like that 80% mark at the start of the race and keep that truck up front, right? Instead of trying to overdrive and put yourself in incidences like that. But you're definitely going to see the 16 come back and probably fix some damage down pit road. But came out if it was on 44 or 45, but that might be the end of stage 1.
Ooh, you know what? What happened is we missed early on. Giving him some rear end damage, and ooh, Chris Mathis even brake checking the 07. So a little bit of beef already. The 07 also ended up door slamming the 17, and the 17 ended up going around under yellow. So we completely missed that, but already some stuff going on, and the 17 decided to tow it. So that's what happened with the 77 machine. A little bit of beef early on. Lap, I think it was 36. So
yeah, and you see the 17 off the track, maybe called the race early, but yeah, remember that 77 and that 07 are teammates with the Lucky 7 Motorsport. So maybe some teammates sticking up for each other, and Chris decided he was not going to have any of it. So I mean, that's Martinsville, short track, short tempers as they call it. So that's definitely going to happen when you're racing this close for 200 laps.
But pace car hard left on the pit road. Blake Roebuck once again leading us to the green flag with Matthew Campbell on his outside. Ford Chevy. So dominant. Able to jump out in front.
And this will be a green-white checker for the stage. Be side by side for the P3 spot. That's the 65 and the 89, 98.
Yellow is out. Michael Deitch. I said exactly. We're gonna take a look at the replay. It was honestly kind of weird. Michael Deitch gets loose on his own. Looks like he maybe downshifted. Makes contact with.
There's a little bit of net code that kind of kept that 5 truck going straight. You even see the contact right here if you slow it down. I mean, definitely touch right here, and then I mean we can try to go on board with this number 5 and see if maybe he's just turning right.
Just right there. Yeah.
Some
problems with his wheel. And it looks to be back.
That is very interesting, because obviously you have to be an actual.
Yeah,
can it turn left when it should be going straight? So, I guess unfortunate that he got caught up in there, and then also unfortunate he had some hardware malfunction there, and that happens in sim racing, right? I've seen several incidences where the leader has had his hardware go awry and either wreck the car out or at the very thing, and that's just a part of life as we know it when you're on a computer. Obviously everybody tries their best to avoid that, but definitely not unavoidable here on iRacing.
Right here, so we're getting ready to go green. Next time by, admins decide to delay just one more time.
Speaking of that, Blake Roebuck should have won in stage 1. Matthew R.G. Campbell, but unsure. We all know, but we do know for sure Blake Roebuck, winner of stage 1 here at Martinsville.
Ace car getting ready to hook a hard left on the pit road. Once again, Jim Mott, we saw there steering. He has ended his race. He's leaving the facility, but we are going back green. 3081. We are back green here at Martinsville.
Whoa.
Contact.
A little bit of contact between Keenan and Kimber in the 30. I think Keenan was trying to gauge when the start was going to go. Got in the back of the 30 and kind of checked out that whole inside. You're going to see him drop back to the 4th place spot now. Under pressure from the 46 on his outside.
Ooh.
Going to keep the spot.
Still side by side. Little blink there from the 65. And we have a yellow. Once again, car stopped on the front stretch. It's the 21 of Adam Smith.
On the zone, yep. You saw some of that front end damage from, what was it, the second caution of the night? And it's on those tires. So maybe just wore out tires helping spin that truck out. So looks like he hasn't hit since around lap 20 some. So yeah, that definitely could be the cause of that. But caution out once again at Martin.
And yeah, some drivers disappointed with how this race is going. They just want to get some green flag runs in, and just they haven't been able to do it.
I mean, you have to set the thing now, with how much cautions have come out. You starting to think, do they have enough time to get this race in, all these laps in? And for people that don't know, these admins, when they set up these races, make it, a certain amount of time, right, to where the session will just end. I'm not sure how much time is left in the session, but you definitely have to start thinking about that when we can't go more than 5 laps without a wreck. We have to do 200 laps around this track. We're barely a quarter of the way through, and we've already been, streaming for probably a solid 45 minutes. So you have to start to think if they can even get the laps in on time now.
Fine, but I think they definitely need to figure something out. Choose come this time by, though, someone who's made his way up to the front, the 87 machine. Lucas Edwards, he's up there in 7th. Great job by him. We saw him has been around multiple incidents this race, and
started 7th, started 8th, up there in that 7th machine. You see a bunch of duct tape on that machine, trying to kind of give into that Martinsville short track look. Very unique looking truck there, but yeah, good for him to keep that truck up there and inside the top 10 throughout the whole run here.
Roebuck, our race leader, versus Matthew Campbell, 81. Those two have, I think, gone at it on the front row about 2 into the restart zone, and we are back green here at Martinsville.
30 with another good jump, and wow, what a lunge by the 81. He's gonna compromise the exit, but trying to get back to the race leader.
Lap car 21 pulling into pit road to get out of the way. Jacob Quill trying to get back up to the front. He's on the outside of the 76 machine back here, I think right outside of the top 10.
So I thought 3 wide back there outside the top 10, and I think that wasn't with Jacob Quill. So you're starting to see him try to be aggressive to work his way back up to the field, but you see side by side back here. No, 10th on back.
Jacob Quill looking 3 wide into turn 1 and 2. Clears the 3. Will clear the 0-1 on exit, and man, for Matthew Owens. The 91, sorry.
We saw that up ahead, the 3 machine. See if we can figure out who that is. You see the 3 get tied or make some contact with some people, or cause an accordion, and you see the 91 right there spun out. Just nowhere to go for him.
Nowhere to go, indeed. Man, I mean, multiple incidents still.
It's definitely interesting. I mean, obviously Martinsville, one of the more chaotic tracks, especially on the sim, right? It's really hard to get this amount of cautions. We didn't get to talk about this before, but your race weather here at Martinsville, 68 degrees, 6-mile-an-hour wind with a little bit of cloud cover over in Virginia. So, but once again, under caution here. Lap 67 of 200.
Hughes cone will be Blake Roebuck has been very strong. He's kind of been the dominant truck since Jacob Quill pit. Has been very strong. Back in the back now. He decided to pit once again under that yellow, try to take some more damage. So he still has to work his way back up through the field, but Blake Roebuck chooses the inside once again.
And with Jacob Quill, right, he decided to pit and start towards the back. And, you know, to make up spots, you have to be elbows out. And then when your elbows out, do you sit back there and kind of wait on the people to wreck in front of you? Or do you race aggressive to try to make up spots? And either way, you're most likely going to get it. So, I mean, that's just the decision you make when you decide to go out of your way to put yourself outside. Really, I would say the top 10 is really where the danger zone is.
Front row. Pace car hooks the hard left. We are getting ready to go back green.
.30.81 side by side. Another great jump by the 30. That's going to make a... And once again, the 81 kind of shoots it off into there in the turn 1 and 2. Caleb Begg's going to keep the P3 spot as Munatsi Major underneath the 65 for the P4 positions.
Munatsi Major pulled a really late block on the 87 to get down to that inside lane. Somehow managed to get it to work. That 65 machine. But now he's got the 87 on his outside, putting some pressure on him.
You really see the outside. These trucks around here, maybe Munatsi just not getting the rotation he needs, but you're starting to see the outside actually prevail.
As the 6 goes around. Exit of turn 2.
Caution will wave.
Jarrett. Cautions breed cautions.
You see the 07 gonna tag the 6 machine.
Right in front of Jacob. Oh, man.
Jacob, really good avoidance. You see the 42 of Hamilton get involved in that. It looks like the 71. Noah Nicholson involved. See the 45 once again, Noah Hunt. And Josh Stoles, I don't think gets any damage, but just had to stop to avoid that wreck. Still see a little bit of front end damage on that number 99 machine.
Man, cautions breed cautions. That looked like it was gonna be and we're gonna stack them up again.
And you'd assume we've ran 75 laps, and I would say the majority are passive until we at least get a little bit closer to the stage end of stage 2, right? And we're gonna go be a little bit more, you know, responsible for your truck. But as we keep seeing, people either making mistakes or pushing a little bit too hard, and caution.
Choose cone this time. I kind of want to see Matthew start behind the side or something, but I don't think the outside's going to work for him anytime soon. As there it is, he does go to the inside.
30, try to jump it with him. That's going to give Caleb Begg the outside in that Major's Garage Chevy. And you have
someone who I haven't really mentioned, Keenan Kimber, up there in the top 5. Trying to get up to the front, trying to get to the lead.
And Keenan up 30 spots. Remember, did not have a qualifying lap that counted, whether that was due to blinking or due to him making the contact with the wall. I mean, up 30 spots, that's an accomplishment in itself. So, great job by that number 65 to position himself to maybe get a top 10 finish at the end of stage 2.
We'll see what he's got in hold. As we are back green here at Martinsville. And trying to clear Caleb. Will not be able to do it, and that's going to allow Blake to run away with it just a little bit. Well, there's multiple trucks involved. Got rear bumpers flying down the front straightaway.
That's another track blocker. You see the 01 still stopped there. You see the 11 machine. That is Gregory Velati. A lot of trucks tore up in that wreck. We'll try to find where that... The track lights come on for the first time. If we can find where this wreck happened.
It's right there.
Yep, is our ATVO is crashed, so we'll show up the UI real quick as we try to load up that. Regardless, still a big wreck here, and tore up a lot of trucks. And once again, as we mentioned before, I mean, if you really, I feel like if you're in this top 5, this is probably the safest spot to be. Yeah, it feels like if you're in the top 5, you're kind of away from all the carnage and all the wreckage. And I feel like if you're outside the top 5, you're trying to get yourself in to that safe spot, and that's what's causing a lot of these wrecks. Unfortunately, they keep stacking it up here and you know, causing more cautions.
I think penalties might have to be start being given to, you know, some of these drivers.
Well, yeah, you have to think that they do give penalty points post race. And, you know, the more penalty points you get throughout the races, you get penalized, right? You look at Dominic Lee, who is suspended from this race. Probably, and honestly, probably for the best. He sees this race and maybe is glad that he got that suspension. Obviously, I assume everybody wants to be here racing, trying to race for a championship. But you're going to probably see some penalties given out post-race. Maybe some, you know, and there's a tier system to these penalties to where, you know, at first you just have to start at the end of the line, and then I think the next tier is you're not allowed to qualify, and then you get up to where, kind of where Dominic is where now, where you're suspended for a race, and the more you accumulate these points, the penalties get harsher to where you'll be parked for 3 races, then 4 races, then, you know, parked indefinitely until the end of the season, and so on and so forth. So you figure the drivers might be thinking about that and maybe trying to clean up, you know, the act a little bit. I could see maybe racing a little bit aggressively for the stage, maybe get some stage points, maybe get a stage win, but we're still 15 laps away from that even ensuing. But you see the pace car make a hard left turn in, once again 30 inside, 81 outside, and we're going to be green once again going into lap 85.
Blake has just been so strong on the start. As 81 is looking there, was able to clear the inside. Trying to keep up as we have another yellow. Single car spin in the back. I believe it was the 91 of Matthew Owens.
See if we can find. Yeah, looks like Matthew
Didn't have help, just lost it.
You see him get up off that concrete patch here that they put in here, and unfortunately there's just no grip up here on this top. I mean, it's flat, there's no banking, there's marbles and all kinds of nasty stuff up there. When you get up there, there's kind of nothing you can do. You know, you really want to be down there on that concrete patch at all times. You can run higher up there, but you just got to be up there. You know, they put that concrete down there due to, you know, back in the day, the modifieds that run here in Martinsville, with how soft those tires have actually dug up the asphalt into the corners. They were digging up the track, so the owners at Martinsville decided to pave the corners with concrete, and it's been the same ever since. And due to how they repaved the track. You see that little bit of banking on that concrete patch. If you're not on that concrete, there's no banking. It's just flat. It's almost decambered compared to what the truck wants to be up there on that flat asphalt section. And if you're up there on that asphalt in the corners, you're just gonna frankly not have the traction you need to keep that truck straight.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, a lot of these drivers want to get some green flag racing in. They're just struggling, and just kind of listening to the racer chat for the first time and seeing what they were saying, and some stuff going on there. Try to get it all settled out, but Matthew Owens will get back up to the lead lap here. Or just a second, but there it is. Blake Roebuck back to the inside. You see the 81 to the outside as we're getting ready to go green next lap, I believe. They did not delay it, so we are going to be going green right here. Trying something different. Blake Roebuck out of turn 4. Heading into the restart zone, and we are back green here at Martinsville.
A little bit of a better start from the outside with Matthew going in there.
And yellow is out again. As we have cars stopped in turn 4. They did not make it to the line. We got Noah Hunt, the 45. All the leaders are coming around him. I mean, he didn't even... I mean, they're all the way in turn 4. They didn't even get up to the start of the run. See him try to catch to the back up to the field before they take the green flag. And 3 and 4, and just loses it on his own.
Oh, here comes
my
01.
goodness.
I think the 01 trying to do the same thing. And
Can't do that.
With the damage,
almost went into the 42.
Yeah, with the damage of the 45, maybe just not driving right. He's gonna spin it out, and you see him
gas it up
down the track. Here comes the 01, nowhere for him to go, and that will definitely be a caution every time. So definitely unfortunate for the 01. He's probably not very happy with the 45, but that will bring out the caution again once again. And now we're getting to the ballpark where, you know, we are going to start to see maybe a race for the stage win. Stage at the end, at the completion of lap 100. So maybe some aggressive racing warranted to maybe get some stage points. But once again, under caution.
Choose cone right here. Questions being asked in the race chat. Some drivers kind of confused with what's going on. They're trying to figure that out, the admins and everybody involved. But choose cone right here. Blake Roebuck to the inside. And we're going to see if Matthew Campbell can do anything.
With all these cautions that come out, look at Blake. You know, just basically being better on the restarts. He's led 56 laps already. You saw Jacob Quill leading a good majority of the laps towards the first stage, and now Blake Roebuck is kind of taking in over as our race leader for basically all of the second stage. So
he's led the most laps so far, and I guess that's one way to do it.
You just got to be up front before that yellow flag comes out, and you're going to continue to lead these laps, control the restarts, and really do what you need to do to try to go out there and win this race. See, the lights on the pace car are off, so In a few seconds, they will take that hard left turn. Back down pit road, and we'll hand this race back over to the 30 of Blake Roebuck. It's going to be Ford, Chevy front row. Chevy Ford in that second row of completing your fast forward. But once again, 30-81 front row, and we're back green.
Great launch once again for the 30 machine. Looks like Matthew's going to be able to clear the inside. Going to try to race up to that 30 machine. He has a huge run. Not going to do anything with it. Side by side for third.
And this is probably the biggest gap we've seen. Those front two get away from the lead from the rest of the pack. And now side by side for the fourth position, Keenan Kimber, Jordan Slater now battling for that P4 spot. You see the 65 get a little bit of upset and give that spot up to the 46.
Yes, 87. Ooh, washed up the track. Nearly made contact, and we have a yellow out once again for the 21 machine of Adam Smith. And this yellow will end stage 2.
The 21 just with the damage probably. Lose the rear end, and huge hit to the outside wall. Gonna lose the rear end of that machine, and I think everybody else gets around them. But you know, you'd assume that if the truck isn't driving right, you might just want to take it down pit road and get the damage fixed as much as you can. But you just had 21 get a little upset there and get up in an outside wall, bringing out your caution, ending stage 2. So looks like Blake Roebuck going to win stage 2. So he will sweep the stages here at Martinsville. Matthew R.D. Campbell P2 with Caleb Begg P3 and at the end of stage 2. See Keenan Kimber, the 46 of Jordan coming down pit road. So some drivers electing to stay out and not, give up the track position. While you see some others electing to come down and get a new set of tires and try to claw their way back to the field. See the 46 right here, taking with that left side of the truck popped up, gonna take some tires, and out he goes. '46 will win the race off pit road. We'll go to the choose cone. 30 outside, 81 30 inside, 81 outside, 98 inside, and the 87 of Lucas Edwards will complete your fast 4. Jarrett Ferreira, your top 5. I'm gonna go take back a look. Jacob Quill starting to slowly but surely move his way up to the field. And that's exactly what he needs to do. I mean, it's like that truck's pretty clean compared to what it used to be. And that's exactly what he needs to do. Slowly move his way up to the field. Try to keep the truck as clean as you can. We know he's got a fast machine underneath him. But once again, it's so hard to pass, especially with how the cautions have occurred. You really have to be aggressive on these restarts, trying to, make whatever lane you can and work. We've seen drivers make the top work. Obviously, the bottom is the most preferred lane, but we've seen some of these fast guys been able to, rip that outside and make it work. But once again, pace car takes that hard left turn down pit road. 30-81 once again. Your front row 98 and 87 gonna be your row 2. You see the inside take off once again is what we're green once again here.
Ooh, yellow is out. Once again, a car spinning in turn 4 did not even get up to the start. It's Richard Myers, the number 93 machine. Did not even get to the line.
This first you've seen of Richard. Yep, just loops it. Coming out of turn 4, trying to maybe get speed. Looks like he was not up to the pace car. You see the 11 of Velati making some contact with the 93. Nowhere for him to go. And once again, under caution on lap 104.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly lost track of the yellows. I think we're at like probably. I mean, well over 10.
We're
Just
definitely
broke halfway.
we're definitely well over 10. I guarantee you we're well over 20. But I mean that's exactly what you expect coming to Martinsville. We mentioned it earlier in the show. This is definitely not uh, a surprising occurrence. You know, this is just the way this track runs on iRacing. Whether it's in leagues, whether it's in officials, you know, even like something like an NIS is usually tend to run like this. It's just, you know, there's a reason why in real life, you know, the drivers that are allowed in these trucks and cars are professionals, right? Or at least, you know, decent enough to get in there and run laps, right? Versus in iRacing where anybody who has the content can, for the most part, come in and race these machines. And it's a tricky track with everybody kind of stacked up with each other. And you know, especially with these open sets, it makes it a lot more difficult to judge, you know, how people are going to drive. When you're in a fixed set league, everybody knows kind of how the truck is going to drive and how everybody else's truck is going to drive, right? Versus these open set league like this VRS truck series where everybody has a different setup for the most part, and it's hard to judge and hard to gauge of how everybody's going to drive and how aggressive people are going to be, and how aggressive people can be with their setup. So, on top of Martinsville just being a really hard track to race at side by side with competitors, having that open set just makes it even harder for these drivers to gauge how hard they can push or how, you know, patient they can be with these other drivers. The lights illuminate back on the pace car. We're trying to let some of those lap cars and guys who came out of the pits to catch back up to the back of the pack here. Maybe that will eliminate some of these cautions from some of the guys further towards the back, trying, you know, spinning out, trying to catch back up. Honestly, a pretty smart move by race control to allow everybody to at least get to the back of and then caught back up to the field, so we can actually, you know, go green here maybe for a couple laps.
Yeah, we're gonna see what Blake Roebuck will be able to do. He's been dominant all race long. I mean, from what we've seen, which honestly has not been a lot, but going back green right here for Chevy front row. Back green here at Martinsville for the final stage.
Yeah, once Rowe is taking the lead, he's quite literally not giving it up. So you see him get another great jump here, and to the top three, all single file, but side by side for this P4 position, 74 underneath the 6. That is Ferreira and Chris Davis. Chris Davis really quick at Homestead last week. Unfortunately, got caught up in a wreck that ended his race early. But you start to see him move his way up to the field, up 22 spots, and but up to P5.
Up to P5, and they're side by side for 6th, right behind him. And who's behind them? Kyle Sosnowski, who's making the move, trying to charge back up to the front. He is 10 laps down though, so he's, you know, still fighting as hard as he can, trying to get on the lead laps here. As you know, he's fast, but just has not had the luck in tonight's race.
Some contact between the 99 and the 91 here, trying to battle it out for the right outside the top 10. There goes the 91 around.
Ooh! Hard into the outside wall. That will bring out the yellow.
And that truck is destroyed. And we saw it live there on the replay. Hard racing right inside the top 10, and we saw the 91 drive it in really deep into the corner, and just, you saw before he even got to the corner, that truck was out of control, and hard hit to the outside wall.
Yeah. That tough luck for the 91 machine. That isn't his first incident up tonight. But with all this happening, Jacob Quill now cracks back up to the top 10, sitting P9, making his way up through the field little by little. With less than 100 laps left, so we'll see what he can do here.
Yeah, it's been impressive to see Jacob Quills run through the field. I mean, obviously led basically all of stage 1 until he gave up the lead to come down and take tires. You know, was back there in the 20s. Remember when he headed for that, he started 27th. Now just starting to crack the top 10. That really shows not only with how the cautions have fallen, but just how hard it is to get back up here, right? You think about other tracks where, you know, you could make up 17 spots in a lap at like a track at Daytona if you make the right moves. You think of like back, you know, with Dale Earnhardt, where he went from 17th to the lead in 3 laps. But obviously Dale Earnhardt, you know, known as one of the best at those super speedway style tracks. And but here at Martinsville, it's just so much harder to make up positions with how narrow the track is, and really where the one racing groove is. It's really a 1-lane track, and everybody else has to kind of improvise to maybe make some other stuff work to get around some of these guys that they might be faster than. And you know, Jacob's done a really good job getting his way back up into the top 10, now sitting E9 going to the choose cone.
Yeah, chooses the outside, so he will go up a row and will start 8th, trying to get up to the front. I mean, he's had a strong car all race. We know he had that incident under yellow, and which caused him to pit for damage, and has just been struggling and trying to work his way up to the front ever since. But now trying to, you know, get it all under control here and doing a great job, you know, working back up through the field. And wouldn't shock me if we see him up front battling Blake for the lead.
I mean, we still have 85 laps to go, so that's, I mean, still quite a bit of laps for Jacob to get back up to the front. You're starting to see some of the guys who are fast start to move their way up. You saw Kyle, even though he is 10 laps down, he was up there, you know, inside the top 10, at least in position-wise. Granted, once we said it, once again, 10 laps down, but, you know, Kyle had a fast truck and got caught up in that first caution, right? Spinning out and just been kind of downhill from there, but starting to see some of these fast guys start to slowly move their way up the field. But we saw the pace car go down. We're going to be going green here.
We're back green here at Martinsville. Great jump by the inside lane. Once again, I mean, I would love to get a run and we can see how it plays out between Blake.
See a battle for that P3 spot, the 98 and the 6.
Contact.
You see some contact between those two, and you saw the 6 get a little bit squirrely right there, trying to keep that truck underneath him as the 6
Oh, he goes around.
See the 65
Yellow.
make contact with the door of the 6. And yells right back out. I might just quit pointing the camera at these guys. Seems like every time we do, they get a little camera shy and spin out. But we just saw that live. You saw side by side with him in the 98, and saw the 6 get a little upset. Spin it out there. Saw the 65 getting to the side of him, and nowhere for him to go. Some pretty heavy left front damage to that 65. You see the fender kind of hanging off the truck.
Yeah. Man, I mean, that's like, yeah, the pit crew's gonna have to put some tape on that and try to get it, you know, back in place.
And he's
'Cause
lucky
that thing's wobbling around everywhere.
and he's lucky to still have that piece on. It still allows that pit crew to at least do something with it. And barely hanging on. You see that?
Watch out! Oh no!
Yeah, you might injure some of your pit crew with it swinging like that. I think Keenan taking that truck to the garage.
Yep. Keenan is leaving the facility on in the night.
Yeah, I mean that truck looked pretty tore up. Maybe too much damage to the pig. Remember, these trucks do have that DVP. So in the sim, if you get enough damage, literally the sim will not let you fix it. It'll tell you quite literally, we have too much damage, we're done. And your race is over. It doesn't matter. You know, back before the DVP, you could sit in there for what, 45 minutes even if you needed to get that truck fixed and out back on the track. But now I think if it's over 9 minutes of damage, the sim will not let you come back out. Obviously, iRacing did have the DVP clock prior to the 2025 season, and now, obviously, with the new season, they took that away and kind of changed the way that the damage clock works. But obviously, iRacing still has that implemented into all of the major NASCAR series. And that could have been the case for that number 56 machine. Maybe just too much damage and not allowed to come back out.
While all this is happening, Jacob Quill breaks the top 5. Gained 4 positions that last 2-lap run.
I mean, you think about it, that caution came out right in front of Jacob. That it was a battle for P3. What was that wreck? So, and obviously when they wreck in front, some drivers probably checked up for that wreck versus Jacob, who maybe tried to drive through it versus maybe just get around it. So, and obviously up into the top 5, he's definitely going to be a contender now to potentially come up here and maybe take this lead away from the 30 of Roebuck. No, he's been really dominant since he took this race lead. I don't think, once again, I don't think he's given it up since he's got the lead back. But now we're starting to see these fast guys come up through the field, as we talked about Jacob Quill in that up into the top 5. But once again, the pace car took that hard left turn off the pit road. Now 30-81 once again going to lead us back to the green flag.
Outside lane, honestly, one of the best restarts I've seen they've had. 81 will easily clear the second place driver, Jacob Quill, trying to get up around them. They're too wide for third with the 76 of Cameron Albertson on the outside. And we have a wreck in the back once again. Josh Stoltz around. And behind Josh is Jay Salmon and
Richard Myers back here, caught up in here.
Munatsi Major.
See if we can find what happened here, as we see the 93 kind of ahead of the wreck. Who is that? It looks like the 18 machine, maybe?
Yeah.
Let's see if we can find that machine. Of Jason Salmon. Yeah, looks like maybe got some help from the 99 of Stoll. And once again, when you get kind of dumped on the exit of the corner with this many trucks still in the race, nowhere to go for some of these guys. You see Munatsi was get caught up in and obviously we documented the 93 also caught up in this wreck.
Tough luck for some drivers, but honestly, it's bound to happen. I mean, we're well at the point where at least every truck has been involved in an incident. I think we met that mark many, many laps ago. And, it just continues. It's not ending anytime soon.
Yeah, it is unfortunate, but, I mean, we've said it once again, you know, that is, that's Martinsville for you. So, looking back at it now, looking at the timing and scoring, we talked about that beef between the 07 and the 77. Looking at timing and scoring, it looks like the admins did DQ the 17 of Chris Mathis. So, definitely something that is not, that is allowed to go here in the VRS Truck Series with the Crown Jewel community. They do not like the drama. You know, there's some leagues that almost embrace it, right? And like the storytelling of it throughout the season, especially for the broadcasting side of things. But for the VRS Crown Jewel Truck Series, is something that is a no-go. You see the 07 getting his lap back, the lucky dog. They're gonna try to maybe if he gets enough time, we might be able to catch back up if he hurries. But once again,
Yeah, they delayed it. But pace car entered pit road, so they're gonna have to check up for the pace car.
see the 07 coming back around. Gonna try to catch the back end of this field. That puts Stewart back on the lead lap. So good job for him. Remember, he was up there in the top 4, top 5 at the start of the race. Now back on the lead lap. You still see a little bit of damage to that Toyota Tundra. But you see that Team Conti GG machine. Back on the lead lap back there in P20.
Getting back into the restart zone. Blake Roebuck still at race leader. Nothing changing. But great. Oh, it's the outside lane. Oh, no. Wreck for our leaders. Jacob Quill. That will move him up to second. We saw the 81 got loose. Made contact with Caleb Begg. And just came from there.
And you see the 81 spin the tires. I'm not sure if maybe the 76 gave him a little bit of a shot.
I think he just spun it.
Yeah, it looks like maybe just trying to keep up with the restart. Spun the tires. He's gonna come down, make contact with the 98, and around those two go. Really good job by really everybody behind to get around those two. But I mean, the 81. I mean, yeah, the 81. Let's see. He was on 132 lap old tires. So that will definitely show why that he spun the tires. He is not pit once this race. So that definitely explains why the tire spin was so prevalent there on that restart.
Jacob Quill up to second, and he's pit for tires recently. Within the last, I believe, 50 laps is the last time I saw him take tires.
Yeah, 34 laps down for Jacob Quill, 33 for Cameron Albertson, one of our open drivers in that number 76. But yeah, Blake Roebuck, one of those drivers who have not come down pit road. 134 laps on those tires. Granted, you know, I would say probably at least a third of those under caution, but still kind of crazy to see, you know, 134 laps and has not touched pit road once. Which also makes me think that, I mean, that truck is very clean. He is probably the only truck that has not gotten involved in any wreck if he hasn't come down pit road once. So, you know, Blake Roebuck doing everything he can to win this race. But he does have Jacob Quill now right there on quite literally 100 lap fresher tires.
Yeah, Jacob chooses the outside, and I think Jacob will get up to the lead pretty quick here if we do get a little bit of a run.
To the 76, that's Cameron Albertson. Pick the inside, and Chris Davis up 23 spots. Gonna round out your fast four. Going Slater, P5, with Matthew Owens, P6. Join Edwards, Jay Salmon, Richard Myers, and Noah Hamilton. Round out your top 10.
Yeah, this race is something. I believe we're approaching almost 100 laps. I know. Checked back about a little bit ago, and I believe we had around 70 under yellow, and I think we're around 90 right now. So, I mean, still with more than 60 laps to go, I think we're going to easily break that mark with how this race is playing out. But it's Jacob Quill. I mean, maybe Jacob could change this up. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we need Jacob.
Maybe he has the power to do that.
Yeah. Restart zone once again. 30 with a decent jump. Jacob Quill should clear for that P2's position. You guys see him, wow, driving in at the bumper of the 30, give a little shot. Gonna back off. Don't think he intended to do that. Remember, he does have 100 lap fresher tires. You can see him driving in just so much deeper into the corner than the 30 can.
I say, oh, and we have a yellow behind them in turn 4 once again.
I think that
We
was
have Nim Silva, 93, or sorry, the 96. We have the 3 car in it. Matthew, Fastnot involved. It's a cool name.
Yeah, towards the front here. It is way ahead of these guys. Looks like Josh Stoles.
Oh wow!
It's a shot from the 15. Wow. And
15 just drove it in there.
Drove it in there, and it's gonna grab Noah Hamilton. You see the 96 and the 3 just has to stop right there to not get into the 99. You see the 07 down there, just collateral damage as well. Yeah, you just saw the 15 really just drive it in there and dump the 99. That's Carl Field. Just drive it in a little bit too deep, and that'll bring out the caution once again.
Yeah, we're gonna see exactly what they'll be able to do here. Honestly, obviously we talked about the penalties after the race, but I'm honestly kind of shocked that we've seen some drivers who have caused the wreck. It's not their first wreck they've caused. I'm surprised admins aren't even, maybe holding them down for at least a lap or two. Without is because the longest green flag run we've had is, less than 5 laps for sure. I don't think we've had a single run more than 5.
Yeah, it's definitely frustrating for the drivers, for probably the fans at home to see this, and you'd assume that these guys would figure out after 100 some odd laps how people are going to drive, and sometimes it's just better to let someone go instead of just get ran over. They're probably going to do that to the next person ahead, and you'll get the spots back, but you figured some of these guys would figure out where they need to put their truck to not cause cautions, but obviously have yet to see that. But you see the lights off on the pace car as they come back on. Probably letting some of the guys in the back catch back up to the end of the longest line there.
Austin Runkel? Sorry, Austin Runkel working his way up to the front once again. He started 31st. It's outside the top 10 here. His truck, honestly, I think is one of the cleanest trucks out there on the field. I don't see a single scratch on that truck.
Yeah, Austin, remember, had EOL at the start of the race because he's filling in for another driver. So, really good recovery for him. Starting tail end of the longest line. Now up there, almost going to crack the top 10. We saw the pace car go off. We'll be green once again, going to the Geico restart zone. 30-77. We're green once again.
That inside lane is so strong. Even with, Jacob, 100 lap fresher tires. Couldn't keep up with Blake. But look at that send the 77 gets, and the exit is crazy compared to the 30 machine.
Well, not only that, like, he can send it in and still keep with him on exit. You a lot of the times when you drive it in that deep, you give up the exit, but the 77 with the fresher tires, he's gonna put the bumper to the 30.
Oh, and he wrecks him.
Man, here comes the rest of the field.
Oh, and we were just talking about the 34 Austin Runkel had one of the cleanest cars, and he's involved in that. And if I'm Blake, I would not be happy with that. His truck, we were talking, Blake was fine. He had a clean truck, and his truck is, he has some pretty severe damage on that truck now. Rear and front.
Blake was one of the only drivers who had a clean truck left, right? And I understand Jacob had fresher tires, but that is not how you pass for the lead. especially with 55 to go. I mean, we
Yeah,
saw
that
that
is.
we saw this whole controversy, with the Xfinity series with Sammy Smith doing the same thing to the 54 of Taylor Gray in the IRL Xfinity series, and I mean that looked like a perfect recreation, if you ask me, from Jacob Quill.
It,
But
yeah, it's. I was something. If Blake does end up getting back up to the front anywhere near Jacob, he has every right to punt him right back. Cause that, I mean, they were fine. Nothing. They weren't together at all this race. Jacob Quill maybe getting a little bit too desperate trying to get up to the lead, but once again, like you said, Christian, over 50 laps left. There's no need for that. And taking out Blake, who has led the most laps in tonight's race, like that is just,
well,
I think, unacceptable.
Jacob has a better had a better truck right there. Obviously had the
Mhm.
factory tires. You know, you saw that there was just he had flat out more raw pace than the 30 at the time, right? Obviously 30 had a lot older tires and all that, but you could just tell that Jacob could drive it in deeper. He could get on the exit a little bit quicker. You just need to be a little bit more patient with them, and wasn't, right? Instead of just trying to be patient and get around them, respectfully, he just drove through them and gonna send that 30 to the back. Blake now still sitting in pit road, gonna be at least 15th. So, and you still see a ton of damage to that number 30 Appalachian State machine.
Yeah, he's gonna have to leave pit road here in a second. Leaders are coming by. I know.
There he goes. He's gonna try to race this pace car off pit road. Looks like he will get out of pit road in time. I believe, and I would assume that the admins will delay the caution once again to allow these drivers to catch back up to the tail end.
We're
As
going.
no,
I think we're going green.
we're going green.
I think admins want this race over with as much as us.
77,
Um,
76 now. That's the first time we've seen Cameron Albertson here in the front row, and we're green once again. Decent start from the outside, but I think Quill's going to take the lead in the turn one.
yeah, Jacob. I mean, him and Albertson are the. I mean, they're on about even tires. Everyone else, I think, I'm pretty sure, is still on older tires. As 87 or fourth place driver. A little bit of a send there to try to get up to Chris Davis. Or I'm sorry, get to Jordan.
See now them side by side for the P3 position. Looks like that 46 is
And
just not handling very
yellow
well.
flag.
Caution out once again.
I think it was for the 11 machine.
It looks like
Gregory.
it looks like Gregory maybe
Yeah,
had some issues here. Yeah, once
he's
again,
lost it.
losing on his own. That's a really interesting caution. It looked like he kind of saved it. Not gonna lie. Yeah, I mean he saved that truck. That's someone pretty quick on the button right there. So I mean he definitely saved that truck. He definitely lost it, but good job saving that truck. I don't know if
That was
iRacing cautions are on, but or if
Yeah, it's
there's a
all iRacing. So I'm kind of surprised the software has that, cause yeah, and admin did not throw that yellow. That was all iRacing's doing.
well, we're under caution once again. We'll see the 11 take that truck down pit road, try to get some more damage fixed. You see that beautiful Red Bull machine, already pretty beat up, but allows him to come back and fix that truck a little bit more.
Cautions. I mean, yeah, cautions, cautions, cautions. Nothing more than that in tonight's race. I was excited going into this race. I knew we would have cautions, but nothing at this level. I thought, me myself, I'm big into short track racing. That's my specialty, and I was looking forward to this race tonight, hoping we could get some, long runs, some racing, and we just really haven't had any. And I think Blake Roebuck is going to go another lap
Ooh,
down here. He did
yeah, I was
not
about to
beat
say he did
pace car.
not beat the pace car off, so he will go a lap down. That is very tough for him. I mean, had a fast truck and just kind of mistimed when he needed to leave pit road. Gonna have to let the whole field by. But luckily, only one lap down. Just needs a caution. So, and for him not to get caught up into it, and he'll get that lucky dog. So, um, the issue is not the caution coming out. I think it's him not getting caught up in that caution. So, um, he'll just have to be pretty on his toes when it comes to not getting a 0x, whether that's hitting the wall or maybe getting some, net code contact. He just needs to be really cautious around getting around that wreck, and so he can get that lucky dog.
Something different. We haven't seen this at all tonight. Race leader choosing the top lane. Jacob Quill chose the top. We're going to see what he'll do here. The 87 on his inside. A Ford Toyota front row. I think that's the first time we've had a Ford Toyota row.
And not only did Jacob Quill pick the top, second place Cameron Albuson picked the top. So that allowed Lucas to pick the bottom and then take the front row. And you will see that number 46, Gwen Slater, your fast four. The 07 of Stewart Harding, another open driver, making his way back up here. Remember, he was up here towards the beginning of the race. Back options and stuff, so really cool to see him back up there in the top 6.
Outside lane in control, and we're back green. Yeah, I mean,
First time
the control car just has such good. I don't think you can do anything there.
I'm surprised to see the 87. He kind of was lagging back from the leader. Really didn't really give that inside a chance to have a good start.
Oh, as we have another wreck in 4. It's Gregory again. He's towing it, and we have last week's winner, Kyle Sosnowski. The number 3 machine, Matthew Fastenot. He's in it.
Oh man!
And he under yellow, or that was the replay. I'm pretty sure.
I think this was him. I think this was a separate wreck.
Yeah,
he was all by himself, and
I thought that was just now, and
no,
yeah, his race is over with.
Did you see the 16 of Sosnowski right there in the 4 shot, all turned around. So let's see if we can find the 16 machine. I know his numbers differently in the system right now. 27. Here we go.
Looks like it happened.
Oh wow.
Oh wow, the 3 just sent it in there, and the 30's not gonna get the lucky dog because he had contact. So that's huge for the 30 machine. He was in the lucky dog position, but because that happened in front of him, right in front of him, he's not gonna get it.
That's very unfortunate. And like I said, that's gonna be the obstacle for Blake, is not getting those little 0x contacts or whatever. Because unfortunately, even though he technically didn't get in the wreck, iRacing, the way it detects getting in a wreck is not getting an incident, even if that is a 0x, and even if it's like scraping the wall a little bit to get around it, in the sim that considers you in the wreck, right? And will not give you that lucky dog. You see the 01 coming around, passing the pace car, but I guess there's quirks to iRacing compared to real life. I mean, that's something that iRacing has to do to kind of deter maybe some, I guess if you want to call it cheese, to maybe get laps back or get a lucky dog undeservingly. So, I guess there's definitely gives and takes that you have in the sim, and that's one of them.
Yeah, I think we're gonna possibly go green here.
The lights are still on the pace car, I believe.
Oh yeah.
So we will
So
be
they
going
did
another lap. I think
yeah.
the admins did extend it to allow some of these drivers to get back. You know, when Nicholson catching back up to the back of the field here. They have caught up, so we should be going green. The lights are off on the pace car. Going in the 1 and 2. So once again, 77, 76. Chevy front row. Like Chevy Toyota. Chevy Toyota second row. I think. And that's a Ford. That's a Ford. So forward Toyota second row. And see the 46 Jordan in that P5 position. But you see the pace car take the hard left turn. We'll be going 37 to go here at Martinsville once we cross the line. 77, 76. And we're green once again here at Martinsville.
Honestly, a pretty good start for the 76 machine.
Doesn't lose as much ground as we've seen before. Lucas Edwards in the 07. That's Stewart Harding.
The outside of the 87.
With the freshest tires in the field at that.
The 87.
87 with some contact. That 07 on the outside trying to fight. He's got a lot fresher tires in this 87 trying to make this pass work on the top. Not
yellow flag.
Yellow's back out again. Like Jay Salmon with a lot of damage with that Ghostbusters machine. Take a look and see what happened. Oh, wow. Did you get some help? No, maybe. Oh, looks like you had the checkup for the 42. And lost it. That's something that's really easy to do at these short tracks, not only in the truck, but just in these big, heavy stock cars. You saw the 42 kind of back up his entry because the guy in front of him backed up his entry. And when you have to slam on the brakes to check up like that, sometimes it just, you know, the back end steps out or you just lose control of the truck. Really easy to do. Kind of have to check up to not get in the back of someone. And saw Jay do that exact same thing. One of the open cars in that 18 machine. And that will bring out the caution once again.
This race, coming to the last bit of it. Hopefully. I don't know how many overtimes we get.
Now with Jacob Quill taking this lead, he's probably starting to rival Blake Roebuck's lap lead. I mean, gonna come around the lead. His 60th lap, we go back to Blake in that number 30 machine. We'll see how many laps he's led. Back, still a lap down in that P20 spot. He's led 106 laps, so I don't think that Jacob can get to him as we speak here. I mean, he's got 33 laps. No, he will not. He can maybe get up to in the 90s, but he's not going to get up to that 103. So Blake Roebuck
Unless we get some overtimes.
Yeah, maybe some overtimes. You're right. But right now it seems that Blake Roebuck has pretty much secured the most laps led category of the race. Good for him. But still sitting back there, P20, 1 lap down.
I want to see the 76 choose the inside lane behind Jacob and try to figure something out there and see if, you know, he could do something. But pace car on to pit road. We're getting ready to go back green here. And they delay the green in the restart zone.
Oh, man. And you saw the 76 actually get some damage from that. Saw the 07 try to go. Maybe didn't realize that they delayed it. And now that 76, you see it right there. With a little dimple on the rear end.
They delayed it in the restart zone.
You see some pretty heavy rear damage to that SVN media machine. be going green once again here. Good job by Jacob Quill. Now going to be side by side for the P2 spot. See the 87, not quite clear. You're going to see the 76 with the run off the top. Going to let the 87 take it. 76 falls back to P2.
Crossover. Was looking for it. Was not able to do it. Oh, this is going on. Jacob Quill pulling away. Nearly up to a second lead already. And yellow flag is out. Once again, it's Blake Roebuck. It was still a lap down. Tough luck for him.
It's a terrible turn of events for this driver. His last kind of 50 laps.
I mean, he has so much. You just see that front end damage, and he just loses it on his own.
And that's what the damage will do. I mean, we know this. I would say top 3 driver this race, and you know that just shows how much this damage affects these trucks. I mean, on his A game the whole race, but obviously you see the damage. It just kills the handling of these trucks, and you're gonna see him go around bringing out the caution.
Yeah, Jacob Quill still leading this race with Stewart Harding and Cameron Albertson, both open drivers. So those are 2 open drivers in the top 3. We'll see if they'll be able to do something in here.
And Stewart was a lap down at one point. Got the lucky dog and has driven his way back up here into the top 3, top 4. And really good recovery run for this 07. Remember, had some drama with him, and then the 17 involving the 77 race leader Jacob Quill. Remember, went a lap down, got the lucky dog, and now up here in P4. I'm interested to see what he picks as a line choice. You'd assume that he might try to go with his teammate and help him out in the 77. He does pick the inside with Jacob Quill. You know, if I'm Jacob, I would kind of count down my teammate with 25 to go to see if you can maybe get you 1-2. And obviously we see Jacob pull away by a large margin at the start, but maybe you could help your teammate maybe get a podium spot here at Martinsville.
And they delay it again with pace car on pit road. So we will go green next time. But now, less than 25 laps to go.
Yeah, this race slowly crawling to its end, and you know, now you're going to start to maybe see some drivers up towards the front be a little bit more aggressive. We've seen a lot of the cars towards the back throughout the whole race, basically, are the ones that are causing these cautions. We have had our select few up here in the top 10 that have brought out yellows, but now you're going to start to see some aggressiveness with 25 to go.
So we are back green. Almost.
77, 76 going to lead us to green once again.
77. Jacob Quill has just been so strong. I mean, anyone in control has been strong. The control car has just been the dominant truck. We have a pile up, and our second place driver spins too. Second place driver, Cameron Albertson spins, and I believe we also had a truck spinning on the backstretch during that, which may have been the 18. Yeah, Jay Salmon was the original yellow, and then the 76 got around while that was happening.
It looks like the 76 just kind of drove it in a little too deep. Gonna back it up into the outside wall. get it straightened back out and try to get going. But as Gavin mentioned, we had some other stuff going on in the back. If we can find that, Jay Salmon looks like had an incident. And I'm surprised this is a caution. Everybody kind of mostly kept it straight. I mean, maybe the truck stopped behind, maybe is what triggered that. But we also saw that 76 spin it out and back it up into the outside wall. So once again, going to bring out the caution. But now, when we go green, it's going to be under 20 to go.
Jacob Quill, definitely the one to beat here. I don't think, unless we get some green flag runs or something, I don't think we're gonna get anything. As the 18 has been DQ'd from the race.
The 18.
Jay Salmon.
That might have been, I would say, probably due to too many incidents on track, maybe. I mean, we haven't. Well, obviously, that last caution seemed just like a.
That's his third incident caused.
Well, yeah. So that will do it. Remember, this league has kind of a 3 and you're out, 3 strikes and you're out rule. So you cause 3 cautions, which in most cases is pretty hard to do. But here at Martinsville, obviously, we've seen it now with the 18. You'll be asked to park the truck for that. We saw the 30 get the lucky dog, so he's back on the lead lap. We'll see what. Oh, you see him tag the wall.
27 cautions is the count currently.
Yeah, that's quite a bit for Martinsville. Probably a record for the VRS trucks. I would not know, but you see Blake Roebuck now up here in the P18 spot, up on the lead lap, so maybe he can make some spots up here. 'Cause we're green once again. Great jump by the 77. And now side
would
by
be
side
a cool little.
P2, so.
Yes, side by side for P2. 07 clears the 46 machine, but it would be cool as we have another spin. Yellow's out, but it would be cool if Blake Roebuck had a little bit of a comeback story. Would get up to the lead and race Jacob for it. But Yellow is out once again. It's 76 machine Cameron Albertson.
And he's gonna do the same thing he did that last Yellow. Just driving in and into the corner too deep and spin it out. Does not get the outside wall this time. And no contact between other drivers. So only a copy and paste of that last caution. Unfortunately for Blake, he's not gonna be able to make up spots if we keep running these laps out under caution. You see the 16, Cisnowski getting his lap back as the lucky dog. Blake is up to 15th place, made up 3 spots through that little green flag stint. But gonna need a lot more help to get up there, maybe into the top 10, maybe even in the top 5, maybe. Even with 16, we'll be going to green with probably 12 to go here. That's definitely not going to be enough time to get him up there to race for the lead. It'd be a really cool comeback story, but I think right now just too little, too late for that number 30 machine.
Yeah, maybe, just maybe, we could get some green flag runs because that would be incredible. Maybe for these last couple laps. That's the dream. That's the dream, but Jacob Quill still out in front. Stewart Harding right behind him. Jordan Slater up there to 3rd. Chris Davis from 27th up in the top 5. Looking 4th. Maybe he can get something going.
I appreciate everybody in the YouTube chat sticking around. Obviously, I know it's just as frustrating for you guys seeing all these cautions, but we appreciate all the love and support. If you guys don't mind hitting that like button on the broadcast, it really does help get the broadcast out more and trying to grow this little small network that we have with the High Velocity TV. If you guys don't mind sharing that around with, whether that's on social media, on Twitter, on even if it's in Discord to get everything out and going. That'd be very much appreciated. If you haven't, please hit that subscribe button as we get ready to go with 13 to go here. 7746 Chevy Toyota, second row as well. Going to the Geico restart zone once again, and we are green with 13 to go.
Decently timed restart with outside lane. It almost tried to go low, but the 07 had his bumper right there. Jordan Slater trying to get to the inside, still side by side with the 07 machine of Stewart Harding.
You see the 46,
Stewart Harding.
You see the 46 trying to keep it tough on the outside. You see a little bit of contact between those two. It's still side by side for that P2 spot. That's just allowing Jacob Quill to get away. See everybody back there behind, starting to get single file. This is probably the closest battle. I think we saw some contact out back there behind the top 10. Right now, still green. 77.
Longest.
Yeah, I was about to say that longest green flag run of the night coming towards the end here. Oh, we have some contact towards the back.
One in the wall. Still green at the moment.
We see 3 wide back here.
Yellow out now.
Yellow out. That's the 99 around. Josh Stoltz.
Josh Stoltz. You see the 91 right behind.
Josh is over driving it in the entry here and gonna spin it out. Good to get on the brakes here and keep that truck up there stopped. You're gonna see the 91 just kind of stop up track.
Josh Stoltz has been DQ'd after that incident.
Yeah, that's his 3 and done. So fortunate for Josh. No, not the best race for him, but the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. You cause 3. I mean, that's all you can really say about that. You cause 3, you're out. So fortunate. Now he raced this whole race just to get DQ'd with 8 to go. But I mean, that one was a self-inflicted injury, right? He kind of just drove it in too deep, spun it out, and brought out the caution. So. Be at the top of the ticker. 8 to go here, so we should be going to green with probably what, 6 or 5 to go. So we're getting down to obviously now the single digits, but obviously we still do have NASCAR overtime that we can fall back to if we cannot get to the white flag.
And be cool if we went green these final laps. But
to take a look at Munatsi Major up to the 6th place spot, up 18 spots from where he was. You know,
Chris Davis right in front of him.
You're seeing some ups and downs from Munatsi. You see he's been as low as 20th. Chris Davis, good run for him, up in the top 10 throughout the whole race. So really quiet for him. You know, we haven't really shouted him out as much as we should have. His low is 10th, right? Just been having a really quiet day up here inside the top 10 all race.
Biggest mover so far is between Chris Davis and Carl Field in 7th. Carl Field started 30th. Now Chris Davis right there in 27th. So
that's some really good recoveries for some of these drivers, and
very close.
You should see the lights on the pace car go off. And Scratch going to green with 5 to go. We're going to be going to green with 4 to go. And so you see this here starting to slowly tick down, and now you're going to start to see some aggressiveness. You have to, right? I don't think anybody.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody except maybe that teammate on the outside wants to see Jacob Quill win after, you know, the way he raced Blake there to get this lead back. But obviously we know how hard it's been to gauge these restarts and allow Jacob to kind of pull away after this. But going into the Geico restart zone, we will be green once again with 4 to go at Martinsville.
He just takes off. And, ooh, 81 sent it in. Contact with the 07 washes up high. And Stewart Harding will almost clear for second place. Still has the 07 just right there on his outside. 2 wide for second. Now cleared for second goes Stewart Harding. He's going to have to work his way up to Jacob Quill with now 3 laps to go.
And 3 to go. Jacob Quill continuing to pull away from the field, and so really close action here for the top 5. You see the 81 and the 74 going at it. Munatsi Major, Jarrett Ferreira. We see everybody get single file out in front. This is the first side-by-side battle that we see up here in the top 10. 6.
Yellow is out. As the 3 is around, Matthew Owens is around. Jacob Quill frustrated on the radio as he was coming out of turn 4, getting ready to take the white flag. And he is showing his displeasure in the race chat. As, well, overtime is here, and unlimited attempts. Wouldn't it be shocking if we see at least a couple with how this is moving. And Matthew Owens has been DQ'd after that incident was his 3rd one. Even though the 3 was the one that I don't see the 91 till I don't even know where the 91 is in that.
It's hard to put the blame on who caused that caution, so that's a interesting call here. You see the 3 of Matthew.
Oh, it's the head.
That's not kind of spin at the same time.
Same time.
It's really hard to call of who caused that caution, the 99, the 91, or the 3, because you see them. We're going back and forth here. I mean, they're both. We'll look at it once again.
They stop at the same time.
They're both out of control simultaneously. So it's kind of a joint blame if you ask me. But obviously, I'm not the race control. I'm not the race admin. So fortunate that Matthew gonna get DQ'd with NASCAR overtime is the only thing between him and the finish. But once again, you shoot yourself in the foot by causing a caution, especially by self spinning, right? If maybe you get caught up in it or something, maybe that's something else. But definitely unfortunate. You're sitting here in, at least for now, 2.5 hours just to get DQ'd with 3 to go here. I'd definitely be frustrated if I was that 91 machine.
The 48. 46 chooses the inside right behind Jacob Quill. If you're gonna give someone the bumper, it would be now. And Jacob Quill, he's given the bumper earlier on in this race. Sometimes you do it and it bites you right back. And honestly, now's the time where the 46 has the shot to give him the rear bumper. And we'll see if he's able to do so.
Well, and we've seen this happen before, right? And even in real life, you see the etiquette that driver has done to someone else, right? And you say, well, he's done it to someone else. That just insinuates that I can do it to him, right? It's that etiquette of race how you want to be raced. Treat someone how you want to be treated. And you saw Jacob Quill, dump the 30 out of the lead, and now the 30, trying to make his way up into the top 10. So good for Blake, but I think it's going to be too little too late to go up there and race for the win. But Jacob Quill just completely dumped that 30 machine for the win, for the lead, and certainly looks like could be the race win. So you're going to see the edit kind of maybe drop when it comes to racing that 77 potentially. But we're going to be green once again here for NASCAR overtime.
First overtime attempt. One car sideways in the back, keeps it straight as the 15 goes around. Yellow flag is out for our first overtime attempt. Yikes. Oh my goodness.
Carl Field. We saw him around in the back here. There's P6 at this on this restart. Go look at the blimp cam here. See what happened. Wow, the
Jacob,
0-1. Got him.
Jacob Quill, not happy at all with what's going on.
Saw the 87 back here. Lucas Edwards also caught up in this. Oh, looks like a separate wreck back here.
Yeah, the 96
looks like this
contact.
looks 71.
I'm pretty sure he saved it.
71 gets into the back of the 96. The 8, yeah.
Pretty sure he kept it straight.
A little net code straightening out, and then the 42. That's Noah Hamilton gets in the back of the 87, and the ground goes the 87 as well, and that sucks. Lucas Edwards was up in really the top 5 all race. Now you're gonna see him back here outside the top 15 due to that. And well, we have unlimited green-white checkered, so we could sit here as long as we need to. We could sit here as long as we need to. Unfortunately, with the green-white checkered situation, you know, it will take as long as we need to finish this race out. So as long as people want to push and shove and collide, we can keep going, right? Until either we finish, until we can either get to the white flag, or until the session runs out of time. Obviously, that's a while from now. It's a 4-hour session, and we've been racing for a little over 2 hours. So we definitely, hopefully we don't need a, I would hope that we don't hit that 4-hour thresh mark where the time would be the concern. But see the 77 taking the inside, the 07 on the outside, 46 inside once again. See the 81 of Matthew Campbell gonna take that 4th place. Chris Davis P5, Jarrett Ferreira P6, Munatsi Major P7, Blake Roebuck up to that P8. Richard Bunkley, who just cost that caution, gonna be up in the P9, and Caleb Begg gonna round out your top 10.
Well, I think Jacob Quill has officially taken the most laps led in this race.
Not quite. He's looking to do it. It's gonna be close.
Just a couple away, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. If we go green here, I think he ties. If we go green here and he leads every lap to take this win, I think he ties Blake. But if we get another green-white checker, I think he will get past the 30.
Well, here we go.
Another green-white checkered. Once again, Toyota front row, teammate front row. We're going to be green once again. As well, a pretty decent jump by the 07. Oh, wow, the 49 really, the 46 really puts his nose in there side by side here.
And yellow is out.
Yellow is out once again.
Jacob Quill will take the most laps led.
Trying to find who that
Jacob Quill is what people say is crashing out on the radio. Not very happy.
Trying to find where that caution is for. Regardless, we will pick up with Blake at seed and sure 106. So gonna be close.
I think Jacob gets it.
103.
Oh yeah, he's got it. He's got it locked.
Just to remind you guys, this was supposed to be a 200 lap race. We're up to 213. So as that shows you,
I think we've done a total of 40 laps green, and our longest green flag run is 3. I think.
The 16 of Kyle Suzdowski getting his lap back. I mean, Kyle's only 3 laps down. He could.
I've lost track. Kyle was 10. He was 10 at one point.
Yeah. He keeps this up, he's gonna be on the lead lap. Keep this up, he could win the race at this point. So We know Kyle's fast. We know he's got a probably low-key a top 5 truck if he can get back up there. And if we keep wrecking like this, it's going to give him lots of opportunities to maybe make some spots up if he can get back on the lead lap. I mean, he needs 3 cautions. Well, I'd say at least 4 to get him up and to contention to maybe get a top 10. But I mean, we said that Blake Roebuck was out of it, and he's up here in 8th place. So I guess never say never.
Maybe, just maybe, these leaders will get into it, and Blake could come up. Comeback story right there. Be pretty cool if Blake could somehow end up at victory lane here.
Yeah, it would be a really good comeback story. I mean, you've seen lots of good comeback stories in NASCAR, right? So whether it's in the Truck Series, whether it's, you know, in the Cup Series, right? But unfortunately, I can't really see the leaders wrecking just because of Jacob Quill with getting such good jumps on these restarts. You can't really get to them on these starts. So the only thing that would really allow someone to get to Jacob is if they actually go out of their way to try to get to him and drive through him or something, or if Jacob maybe spins the tires. But you know, Jacob's been pretty elite on these starts. I don't really see him doing that in these last couple of restarts.
It's gonna be interesting. I don't know if all we have to do is take the white. That is all we have to do.
We see the pace car gonna take the hard left turn once again on the pit road. Once again, teammates 1-2. As you see the 4681, your fast 4. So we're green. And for once again, NASCAR overtime. Jacob Quill gonna lead us back to green.
Jacob Quill with a great start. Able to clear both lanes. Side by side for second. That's good for Jacob Quill. We'll let him pull away. He just needs to take the white flag here, and it will be official. And the white flag is in there. Jacob Quill, white flag leading into turn 1 and 2.
And Jacob Quill takes the white. Out of 1 and 2. Nowhere behind them in sight. Still side by side for that P2 spot. Coming into 3 and 4. Maybe not the most popular win, but Jacob Quill's going to come out here and win at Martinsville.
Jacob Quill, victorious here at Martinsville in that 77 machine. Some drivers probably not happy with that, but some may say not the most respectful win. Some could say otherwise, but you get it done. He's going to be able to burn it down here on the front stretch with his teammate right behind. Oh boy, here's Blake Roebuck. Parked on the start finish. Blake Roebuck.
Jacob Quill
on the line.
Jacob Quill's
Jacob Quill.
Looks like he's gonna go somewhere else to do his burnouts.
Blake Roebuck parked on the front stretch, on the line. Definitely not happy. Jacob Quill dumping Blake Roebuck from the lead early on, and he's in the Jacob Quill's in the barrels and wrecking the race car.
Yeah, he's stuck in the safer barrier, so
yeah.
I guess Blake might get the last laugh here. So
that might be the worst burnout I think I've ever seen.
As you see, the 07 trying to get this 30 off of, as you'd probably say, Martinsville Victory Lane. This is where usually a lot of these drivers park once they burn it down. Obviously, in iRacing, a lot of the tracks don't have Victory Lane you can get into. It's cool to see that iRacing has been modeling those in. Obviously, Dover got the update to where you could drive into Victory Lane. So did Bristol Motor Speedway. But it's usually what you'd call Victory Lane for Martinsville. And you still see Blake sitting there, sending a message that, you know, maybe this was his win and not the 77, as we see him get back out.
Here comes Jacob.
Looks like he maybe had some help from the teammate. Knocked him
the
out.
07, I think the 07 should park it. Let the guy do the burnout. Let Blake and Jacob settle it out. I think the 07 should just watch. I don't know.
Yeah, Stewart P2, but P2 doesn't get to do the burnouts, but
First
Like,
loser.
looks like he's still gonna continue to celebrate with his teammate Jacob Quill. Blake is still sending a message. Looks like the seven's got his rear end lifted off the ground, and now Jacob Quill is
And
just
wow, he's doing a burnout on the 30 machine. That is
and that's the pretty ballsy
something.
thing
That
to
is
do. You see the engine expire on the 77, and Blake, I think, is just gonna sit here for the rest of eternity. But we're gonna go ahead and get your interviews ready to go after we. Oh, as well. We're gonna go ahead and go to commercial as we get our interviews underway here. But Jacob Quill, your winner here at Martinsville.
Racing isn't easy.
Back live here from Martinsville Motor Speedways, we saw Jacob Quill claim victory here at the paperclip as we are going to get ready to get your race interviews. We have lost our co-commentator in Gavin Austin. He had to step away. I don't think anybody expected the race to be this long, but we are going to talk to your E3 driver and Chris Davis after we can see if we can drag him into the VC. See if we can grab him.
But
Hey Chris, it's Christian up here in the HVTV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, a P3 finish for you here at the paperclip, and definitely a chaotic race to say the least. A lot of wrecking, a lot of chaos. But walk us through the race. Walk us through how you navigated up through the field to get yourself up here, up 24 spots.
We were just looking to survive. I mean, it's Martinsville. The race, no matter what it is, it's kind of just everybody hits everybody. So if you can make it through cleanly, that's kind of what it takes. So that's kind of what me and the other back road bandit racing guys was going for, and we were all there in the top 5 for the seems like 20 green and white checkers there. And unfortunately, this should have been Jordan Slater up here, teammate. He blinked out there at the very last lap, so unfortunate for him. But it's a good points day. I needed a decent finish. We've been running up front all year, but haven't had the finishes that we need. So I'm pleased with it.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that the 46 blinked out there on the last lap. That's unfortunate for him, but at least we got a teammate up here. But yeah, you talk about finishes, right? I remember you running up front these last couple of weeks, just got caught up in stuff kind of out of your doing, and I guess luckily just got through the carnage here to get up here in the podium spot for your team and everything else. But walk it through. All these cautions. What was going through your mind? As you guys were just pacing. I think we had more caution laps than we did green flag laps. So
Yeah, couldn't say that we ran more than 15, 20 laps under green, but it was really just deciding which lane to choose. If you went to the outside, you could gain a few spots, but you were hoping that a caution would come out quickly just so you could get back to the bottom. But that's kind of what the whole race was, is just picking and choosing. I think I started back in 28th or something like that, and that was just kind of my strategy of how to get to the front and then wait for the next caution.
well, you did a good job at doing that, right? Obviously, picking and choosing lanes and getting yourself up here to a podium spot. But before we let you go, is there anybody you want to thank? Anybody you want to shout out? Any sponsors, family, or friends? Anybody you want to shout out?
Yeah.
Maybe watching at home.
All the Backroad Bandit guys, appreciating them letting me come on this year, and we're going to get him a win here before too long. But Matt Campbell, Jordan Slater, Richard Myers, they're all a good group of guys helping me out, so appreciate them. Also, shout out to B Smoke Performance, and then just appreciate you for sticking through this one. It was rough.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the more chaotic races we've called, but definitely couldn't do without you drivers. I mean, we're not putting on a broadcast with you drivers here, and obviously appreciate the kind words. But we're gonna drag you back down to prepare for next week, and hopefully we can talk to you next week, maybe in Victory Lane.
Appreciate it.
That was a third place driver of Chris Davison, the number 74. I guess taking over that P3 spot after the 46 blink out. Didn't even get to really see that. We're looking at the race leader. Didn't even realize that the 46 blinked out. But now time to talk to your P2 driver, the 07 of Stewart Hardy. Hey Stewart, it's Christian up here in HVTV booth. Got a copy?
Yep.
Well, very up and down day for you. You were kind of running up there in the top 5 towards the beginning of the race, and then kind of got up in some incidences, went a lap down, got the lucky dog, and then drove your way up here into the top 5 and sitting there in P2. So just walk us through the race and walk us through, the mindset of this race with, all the caution laps.
Well, I had a bad qualifying run, which set me back there, but I knew instantly this truck was really good, especially looking at Jacob's time. I knew it was just, I wasn't used to the quali set the way he was, so I got to work right after the green got going and marched my way up to, I think I got second or third there before, I can't remember, to be honest, what wreck got me. Oh, right, when the 17 was acting all crazy, it gave us a bunch of damage, so we went in, and then my game crashed. It kicked me out of the session. That's how I lost those 4 laps, so it was just kind of, working my way through the field. I was fighting for every position, trying to be at the front in case we had, a wave around, or maybe I could sneak my way into the lucky dog, and we just kept working at it until we got through and got back on the lead lap. And then, I mean, I had a great truck all day. This thing was on rails most of the time, a little loose at the end, but, I'm just really glad I got the opportunity to drive this truck for Lucky 7. Our partnership between them and my team and Tipton Harding Motorsports, we great alliance. Yeah, it was a good day.
I agree. That truck looked really quick up there towards the front, but it seemed like no one could touch Jacob. Is there anything you think you could have done to get to him maybe in those final laps?
I still had a lot of damage from my scuffle with the 17 when he was, he tried messing with Jacob, and then I wouldn't stand for that, and he tried to mess with me, and they DQ'd him, so I never ended up fixing that. I had about a minute, maybe a little bit more damage to my truck, so I think that was the main difference between me and Jacob. But, Jacob's a great driver. He put in a lot of work all week to practice for this race, and I didn't touch this track I touched the track, but I didn't touch this setup until qualifying pretty much. So I was just learning as I went, and I think I did pretty good for not having any practice laps underneath me.
I was about to say, with really no practice, you can't really complain about P2, especially finishing behind the teammate and Jacob Quill. He's been quick really everywhere we go, but I guess before we let you go, is there anybody you want to thank, shout out, maybe sponsors, family, friends watching at home?
I believe my sponsor is Admin Box, so I want to shout them out. They support this team really well, so I appreciate them. Cameron Albertson, he owns this team. He's a great job. Great job to Jacob Quill. That was a great dominant run by him, even with the issues both me and him had getting mired at the back. He prevailed just like I did, and we put on quite the show. That's pretty much it. And all the staff of CGR, they put on great races for us. 4 races a week, that's tough, and they do a great job doing it, so I appreciate them sticking through the 27, 28. Did we get to 30 cautions there at the end? I mean, we had a lot, so I'm glad they stuck with us and managed to get this race done.
It's definitely one of the more chaotic races here, but it's the paperclip. It's Martinsville, so nothing unexpected here. But once again, congratulations on that P2 finish, and we will drag you back to celebrate with your team.
Thanks, man.
That was Stewart Harding in the 07. Great run for him. Obviously a part-time open driver. Looks like I had no idea, but the Harding Motorsports with the Lucky 7 guys having a partnership, letting Stewart come down and run the trucks every once in a while. Obviously, those guys that run those part-time only, I believe, get 5 starts in the truck series. So that's exactly why Boyd decided to not run some of these other races. He wants to save those 5 races, those other races of those 5 to, tracks that maybe he's a little bit better at. But lastly, let's talk to the man of the hour, the man of the couple hours, I guess. Let's talk to your race winner, Jacob Quill. Hey, Jacob, it's Christian up here in HPTV booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Well, definitely an interesting race for you. Obviously, came on here, sat on the pole, and kind of dominated all of stage 1, and then kind of get up the track position before stage 1 to come in, get a fresh set of tires, and kind of mired yourself towards the back. But
you want to know what happened?
Yeah, we saw.
Really
we saw. We heard about what happened with you in the 17. Just missed it on the broadcast, but Gavin caught it. But yeah, kind of an up and down race for you, often. With that scuffle between you and the 17, forcing you to drive through the field. But kind of just walk us through the race, walk us through the mentality, and walk us through those, last couple of green white checkers.
I mean, I just want to say that race was absolutely garbage. That should never. I just want to get that off first and foremost. That should never happen. I know. I don't think that should ever happen like that. Something needs to happen. I don't know what, and about the incident where I took the lead, off the bumper of Blake. I seriously don't think that was. I didn't do it intentionally at all. I got loose on entry and I was trying to hold my brakes normally and it just didn't work. So I never want to win like that. But I mean, early on after that damage, we had to fight these trucks and then got involved in more wrecks, got the truck fixed up again. And I was finally making progress to the field, got up there. The cautions were just so packed. I couldn't make any moves. So I had to put in some desperation and try and make some moves that would get me in a better spot quicker. Which it worked until I got to Blake and, I braked just a little too late, much later than him, which my truck could handle it. It's just, I got a little loose on entry and I really didn't mean to hit him hard. I mean, it was only a 2-mile-an-hour difference at the time of contact, but I don't know. You just never want to win like that.
Well, I agree that, no one wants to win like that, putting the bumper to someone, at least in that way to, spin them out, but I mean, that's Martinsville. I mean, I think we counted 31 cautions. So, and you already brought up about your opinion on that. Obviously, not what we expected coming up here in the broadcast booth, but that's what we got. But talking about you, it seems like regardless of what happened, you were still able to drive up to the field here and claim the checkered flag here and get a win here at the paperclip. So. Before we let you go, anybody want to shout out? Any sponsors, friends, family watching at home? Anybody want to shout out for this win?
Yeah, I just want to thank Jones Racing Subs for providing the absolute fastest C Open setup this week for Martinsville. They put on an incredible show. all week. I think we racked up somewhere around 34 wins this week with A Open and C Open combined. Great week. Rocky Boyd and some of those guys like Jesse Kaplan. I really got to thank them for building an incredibly fast setup. But yeah, I also want to thank Stewart, for being a great teammate, sticking up for me with the whole 17 situation. I seriously appreciate that. Even though we've had our differences in the past, when we're teammates, we're just in the race together, and we need to think like teammates. So it's certainly good to know that I got teammates that are willing to do that for me. And yeah, I just want to thank Cameron too. First win here for the trucks, and we certainly want to keep the train rolling, and I feel like I got a couple more coming.
Well, yeah, it seems like, regardless of where you go, you're a force to be reckoned with. I mean, you've always shown up with speed throughout the season here, so can't wait to see what you can do here in the next couple weeks. But once again, congratulations on your win here at Martinsville, and I will drag you back down to celebrate with the rest of your team.
Yeah, thank you, Christian.
That was your race winner, Jacob Quill, claiming victory here at Martinsville. Still see fortunately an upset Blake Roebuck, but unfortunately sitting here in victory lane is not gonna change anything. I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, Jacob said that he was upset with the way he handled that situation, but that's just the way it's gonna go. But before we let you guys go, we're gonna go through your race results one last time. Your unofficial race results brought to you by High Velocity TV. Jacob Quill, as we just talked to, your winner here in that number 77 machine, gonna win here at the paperclip. Stewart Harding, that teammate, gonna be P2. Chris Davis is gonna claim that P3 spot after the 46 blink out. He's gonna be P3. Jarrett Ferreira, a really good run for him. He's gonna finish out P4. Munatsi Major, P5, great recovery for him. Blake Roebuck, P6. That is, a pretty good Linsanity run when it comes to what happened. Was back there a lap down with 20 to go. He's going to come back to finish P6. Noah Nicholson, P7. Caleb Begg, P8. Lucas Edwards, P9. And rounding out the top 10 is going to be Nim Silva at number 96. 11th is going to be Richard Bunkley. 12th, Noah Hamilton. We saw him getting some incidences. P13 is going to be Cameron Albertson in that number 76 machine. Another part-time driver. Along with another part-time driver to Richard Myers in that number 93. He's going to finish P14. Matthew Campbell, P15 with Carl Field in that number 15 machine. He's going to finish P16. P17 is Jordan Slater. P18 to Kyle Sosnowski, 4 laps down. Fortunate for him, got caught up in that. And, brought out that first caution and just could never recover from that. He's going to finish 4 laps down. 12 laps down is Matthew Fastnot in that number 3 machine. 20th is going to be Matthew Owens. He got DQ'd due to incident points, so he's going to finish out. He'll still get a top 20 out of that. 21st can be Michael Deitch, 27 laps down. Unlucky day for him. Same with Adam Smith. Josh Stoles also DQ'd at the end due to incidences. He's going to finish P22, that number 99 machine. Jay Salmon also DQ'd due to incident points. Not a good open entry for that. Number 18 machine. Gregory Velati, P25. Austin Runkle, P26. Keenan Kimber. Noah Hunt. Zach Johnson, and Rodney Roberts all out early. Going to round out your top 30. And rounding out the field, Jim Ott, Ryan Taft, Chris Mathis, Patrick McPeak, Chris Vickery, and Michael Sellers all out early. But besides that, everybody, I really got nothing else for you guys. But from everybody over here, my name is Christian Delgado, your lead producer and commentator. Here for that High Velocity TV and here for the VRS Truck Series. Obviously, we lost Gavin Austin post-race, but once again, have to give a huge shout out to Gavin for sticking it out here and calling this race and calling the rest of the season here for the VRS Truck Series. But once again, you guys were watching the Long John Silver's 200 here at Martinsville Speedway here for the VRS Trucks Series. But once again, guys, thank you guys so much for coming out and watching the stream. If you wouldn't mind hitting that like button, sharing the stream with friends and family and everything else to get this channel growing, I'd really much appreciate it. But besides that, guys, hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday night, and we'll see you guys all soon. Have a great rest of Monday, guys. Peace out, guys.